You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. You're probably well aware that LSU added 2 more commitments on Friday. A 5-star wide receiver, Jaylen Brown, became the highest-rated commit in the class. This is how it sounded.
And with that being said, after a long talk with my family, what better place to take my talent to than Louisiana State? I know it!
So Jaylen Brown, 5-star, becomes the highest-rated commit in LSU's class when he pledged on Friday, just minutes after we went off the air. It was expected that he was going to pick LSU, and ultimately he did choose the Tigers. He is a 6'1", 175-pounder. He is known for his blazing top-end speed. He is the number 29 overall prospect in the country, the number 4 wide receiver, and LSU went into Miami and plucked a 5-star away from the Hurricanes, who were very much in the mix for Jaylen Brown. So that's a huge get for several reasons. But LSU wasn't done. On Saturday, they come back and they land West Weeks. West Weeks is the younger brother. Excuse me. That is probably going to happen several times. Whit Weeks, who is the younger brother of West Weeks, committed to LSU. He's a 3-star linebacker out of Georgia. Remember, West Weeks was at UVA, transferred into LSU this year. His brother Whit Weeks committed to LSU on Saturday, a 3-star linebacker who is now part of the class for 2023. You'll have the Weeks brothers playing linebacker for the Tigers. A couple of thoughts here. We'll start with Jaylen Brown and why I think that's so significant. Obviously, with Jaylen Brown now, you have added a 5-star into your class, so he becomes the highest-rated commitment in your 2023 class. And anytime you add a 5-star, it's obviously significant. Now, I think LSU is also expecting / hoping that they will land Shelton Sampson, the 5-star receiver from Catholic High in Baton Rouge. From Cali High. I can do it. I'm talking about a kid that's going to commit to LSU, and y'all can't be mad. And if they do, then you're talking about 2 5-star receivers in the same class. And that is a huge, huge, huge yo for Brian Kelly, for the future of this LSU offense, if in fact they're able to get Shelton Sampson in the class as well, as it seems as though that they will. The other part about Jaylen Brown that I think is significant is the NIL impact. Because you went to Miami and got a kid out of Miami who lives minutes from Miami's campus, and we all know that John Ruiz, the billionaire Miami booster, has been massively involved, almost brazen in his approach to NIL. So if you go down into Miami and you get a 5-star out of Miami, you had to get a feeling that LSU is playing that game a little bit. Now, to what extent, I don't know, and I can't speculate on it. But what I do know is that I have pointed the finger at Texas A&M and said, you just signed the best class ever coming off of an 8-4 season, and you haven't won a championship since the 1940s. Like FDR was in office the last time you won a title, I think. Might have been even earlier than that. But we all understand that's what's driving it. So it would be hypocritical of me to see LSU go into Miami and get a 5-star wide receiver out of Miami without at least acknowledging the possibility of NIL playing some factor into that decision for Jaylen Brown. I'm not saying it's why he picked. Yes, I could look at LSU and I could say Odell, Jarvis, Russell Gage, DJ Chark, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Kayshon Boutte. I can look at a lineage of receivers and say, man, these dudes pop off. They go to the next level. They have success here. They translate. All that's true. Yes, Jaylen Brown had a relationship with Cortez Hankton, who was recruiting him to Georgia. That absolutely matters. Yes, LSU won a championship in 2019, won 3 titles since 2003, played for 4 in that same time span, got the recent history, the great history, the fame, all of it. It's all there. There's a lot of programs that have that. If there is a differentiator, And I'm telling y'all, it's a good thing. If LSU is engaged in NIL now, that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is why you're starting to see LSU pop off in recruiting the way that they have, and especially to go down and get a guy like Jaylen Brown. Now, I do want to talk about the wide receiver future here in just a second, but there are still some people, and we will talk about this with Steve Wiltfong later in the show. There are still questions to say, all right, LSU and Brian Kelly and the staff have cast a very wide net, a national net. And they put together what right now is a top 10 class in the country, and they're going to keep adding to it. And I think they're going to finish a top 10 class in the country. But it's fair to say, are they going to be able to get the best players in Louisiana to stay home? And we don't know that. And we won't know that until December or February with the signing periods, and maybe not even until next year's class, the 2024 class. By the way, the top player in Louisiana for 2024 is a tight end. What are the two positions that Brian Kelly developed exponentially well at Notre Dame and got into the draft? Offensive line and tight end. Let's see how that goes, right? But LSU's championship teams have all been built with a core of Louisiana players. And in time, they're going to have to prove that they can develop those relationships and keep the best players from Louisiana home. And that may not happen this year. We've already seen Arch and Eli Holstein and Derek Williams and Jaden Ausberry. It's all guys that are from Louisiana that look like they're going elsewhere. Okay. In time, you've got to be able to flip that and get those guys to stay home. But in the meantime, when you can use all of the relationships you have to cast a wide national net and go sign a top 10 class in the country, even if you don't get the best players in Louisiana, that is a huge way to supplement your class. And especially because in future years, if and when you do develop these relationships and you're getting the best players in Louisiana to stay home, then you use your national relationships to supplement your Louisiana class with the top players around the country. Like when you can go get an Ethan Posick out of Illinois, a Garrett Dellinger out of Michigan. If you go out to California and get an Eli Ricks, you understand. You go down to South Florida and get Patrick Peterson. You understand my point. You'd be able to still cast that wide net to get the best players that you want. Caleb Von Chaston out of Houston. You're still going to be able to do that. So big weekend for LSU. They're now up to 14 commits here for the class of 2023. 14 commits for 2023 in the 247 rankings right now. LSU's class is all the way up to 9. When the calendar was turning to July, LSU was in the 30s, I think 37th. But you add as many commits as LSU has here of late, and this is the fruits of that labor now, with LSU having a top 10 class and still more to come. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.